Hey, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey and Spencer Hughes on the Daybreak Show. Coming up on the phone line here, we have Judge Dan Goodell to talk a little bit about jury trials resuming. Spencer and I talked about this throughout the week on the show, and since March, it has been held back from jury trials because of coronavirus. Dan Goodell, good morning, sir. Good to hear from you.
Good morning, Jeff. Nice to talk to you this morning as well.
So we have been reporting on this week, going off of the press release that you sent out, and Mason County Superior Court, District Court, and the Shelton Municipal Court will resume jury trials in July after pausing them in March. And the first potential trials could begin as early as Monday, the 6th. So my first question is, how's everybody doing in the court and all the folks that work around you in the court, and what have you been doing since March for these trials?
Well, let's step back just a little bit further than that. We do much more than just trials in our court. We also have many dockets that deal with family law, civil litigation, dependencies where the child is removed from the home, juvenile law, and of course criminal law, and many other areas of law. And we have been fortunate here in Mason County. We have a very good IT department, and by April, we were able to start holding virtual hearings using the Zoom platform. And it's one of those things that I didn't know what Zoom was until April.
Right.
And soon we were running all of our dockets on a regular basis following the Zoom platform, and where people are able to virtually appear in court. The judge is there. The community is able to dial in and listen as well. So it's an open court. And so that has been working, not as well as in person, but it has been working. But one thing it doesn't do is give the opportunity to have people in the courtroom. And which is very important in our jury system, to have the defendant able to confront those who are accusing, and also for the jurors to be there to observe and see the witnesses and the evidence live in person, which is a crucial part of a jury trial. So while we've been moving forward, we haven't been able to move forward on jury trials.
You know, I feel like I saw on the news one time about a month ago maybe that they had thought to try a jury over Zoom, and, halfway through, some of the people got up and walked away, or their phones rang, or you saw them playing video games or something. And I can imagine when you're in there, you're focused on the case at hand, whereas if you were at home on Zoom, the temptation to be distracted is a little greater.
Yeah. Well, that would not have happened in Washington State, but wherever it might have happened. But just think about it. One of the key components of a trial, and the reason that we have a community of jurors, is that they get to watch and see the witnesses. Sometimes you'll have two witnesses get up on the stand who will say two totally different things. And the jurors are there to watch, listen, and pay attention and try to determine, okay, which of these explanations, what happened, is more accurate than the other one. And you really can't do that very well with a video feed from some camera. So I think that it is a sound principle that we do jury trials in person.
So you mentioned the fact that the juries need to be able to watch, listen, take notes, be aware of the surroundings, and you can't really do that if you personally are feeling unsafe in the situation. So what's going to move forward, and how are we going to help with the distancing and the masks and stuff like that?
Right. So what we have during this time period, and it's been for the way that the court views things, it's been a very long time. We have been able to work more with IT and also with our facilities. So now, in the past, Well, let's start with the past. In the past, if I'm not sure if you've ever served on a jury or been involved in a jury selection process, but if you were, you would know that the normal is when people would come in, they would all pile into the gallery of the courtroom, shoulder to shoulder, and we have these benches in our Superior Court where we would fit 60 people in there, shoulder to shoulder. And as you could understand, that doesn't work anymore. So what we've gone to is, first of all, we no longer will be using the jury box. Our jurors are going to be sitting out in the gallery. And we're going to be needing to use 2 courtrooms in order to do one trial. Okay, because we will, even the jury assembly area, people have to be socially distanced in that area as well. And so instead of using one courtroom to do the entire jury trial, we're going to be using 2 courtrooms so the jurors can be in 2 different places given what's going on in the trial. Okay, they will have to be in the courtroom as the trial commences and we see the witness and that type of stuff. But that whole selection process will be utilizing 2 different courtrooms. Some of it will be virtual, some of it will be live. But in all instances, the jurors are going to be able to be at least 6 feet apart. Everybody's going to be wearing masks, and we're going to do our best to try to reduce the likelihood of someone being exposed to the virus.
One of the other protocols I see here is that only a limited number of jurors are summoned in the first place, so to avoid those kind of mass gatherings at the onset of the week. How will that work, though, if people are... Well, one, if they're ill and unable to come to jury, as that's one of the other things. If you're sick, you should stay home. But then are you concerned, too, with people perhaps abusing that sickness as a way to either, one, get out of it or not adhere to the masking protocols?
Well, our jury system really does rely upon a citizenry who are stepping up, recognizing their duty to contribute to our justice system. You know, it's said that jury duty is one of the highest privileges of being a United States citizen. You know, and it really is the purest form of government of the people, by the people, and for the people, when you think about it, because it is direct relationship, okay? And I think that a lot of our citizens recognize that. And that's what, first of all, when you get a summons, lawfully you are to respond. But secondly, a lot of people do, okay? And we also recognize in this environment is different, okay? In fact, on our jury summons, on the back side, there is now a box that you can check that if you are in a more susceptible situation, a vulnerable person to the COVID virus, you can say, check that box, say, I'm vulnerable. Please delay my service, and we will do that without asking any further questions. Okay, so we do rely upon people being forthright in their approach. And on that vulnerability, we do follow the CDC guidelines, 65 years or older, or if you have any number of those conditions that they list that create more vulnerability to the virus, or if you're living in a household with someone like that. Okay, so we do not wish to put people in harm's way by moving forward with these jury trials, but we recognize that there comes a time where we need to deal with these matters. What
about protections for you, the judges, the lawyers, the witnesses, the bailiffs, all the other support that are there in the courtroom? How's that going to be handled?
Okay, and so the facilities has gone through our courtrooms and has made some modifications. And again, the part of the changes that we made to our configuration, if you can picture, if you can look on TV, you normally see the two attorney tables. You know, they're facing the bench, and the attorney is next to their client, and they're whispering back and forth in each other's ears, and they're making arguments, and even the two tables are less than 6 feet apart. Well, what we've had to do is that we've actually turned the tables so that they are now perpendicular with the bench, so that the attorney and the client are able to be 6 feet apart. The two tables are more than 6 feet apart. They will be wearing masks as well. It does create a challenge. Oftentimes there's a need for a confidential conversation between the attorney and the client during a proceeding. And, well, how does that occur? Well, IT came up with telephones on the benches, on the desks, that they can dial back and forth, and, of course, they can write notes and that kind of stuff. We have plexiglass that's been installed so that between the witness and the judge, which is a really close proximity, we can't be 6 feet apart, so we got plexiglass. Same with plexiglass in front of the clerk desk where papers are handed up and exhibits are handed up. And even exhibits now, we're accustomed to having documents passing around and items passing around. Well, those are all going to be scanned in, and the witness is going to be looking at a monitor. And if it's something that the jurors need to see and it's admitted as evidence, they will be receiving it electronically. And so those type of changes are being made or have been made so that we are prepared to move forward.
Mason County Superior Court, Mason County District Court, and Shelton Municipal Court are doing the best they can with the information and the abilities because of the rooms and all that to make sure that everybody is safe as we move forward here. And the first potential trials could be starting as early as next week. The jury summons have gone out. And again, as Judge Goodell said, it is mandatory to respond to those summons when you get them. And there are some options if you are in the high-risk category. Well, it's good to hear from you and good to know that you and everyone at the court is safe and well and working through this. What other counties have other counties gone to jury trials yet? And how do you know if that's working well?
The timeline that we're working under was a timeline that was established by the state Supreme Court. Okay, so it was the state Supreme Court that suspended the jury trials back in March, and they suspended them through next week. Okay, and so for the most part, courts are not commencing until next week, and some courts are even happening after that time period. Okay. So there have been some counties, as I understand it, that have made some attempts, and I can't tell you what their successes or lack of successes are at this point.
Well, I know the good folks in Mason County will work hard to get this going, to get the jury trials resuming. Judge Goodell, good to talk with you again. Be safe out there, and we'll talk again soon if there's more news to share from the court.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.